Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. Over there is Diamond Dave Damone. This is the Appleton Oak. That's the answer. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we are taking a look at V for Vendetta. This one is from 2005. This is a movie I have seen a number of times. I'm going to leave it at that. It is based on a graphic novel, so I'm excited to see the boys here react to it.
All I know is the mask. All I know.
There it is.
Every time I'm looking at you for that. So I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to find out what this movie is all about. I've heard good things, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same boat as the answer of you'd have to be living under a rock not to have seen the mask in all avenues of pop culture over the last how many years, but I know nothing about the movie whatsoever. Way back.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with these guys. All I know
Shut up.
is the mask. So, I actually forgot Natalie Portman was attached to it until I went back and tried to
It's got some
get the
of our
folks on
favorites.
Patreon and YouTube members and all you in the YouTube comments. I know a lot of folks are saying, how dare we not do this on November 5th? I don't know what that's about. I know you do.
Yep.
So here we go. Let's go.
Hey, Steve, can I get a water?
Coming right up. Got a fresh pack right down here. Oh, my back. Oh.
Uh-oh. Looks like Steve's back just called it quits.
Some help would be good right about now.
Yeah, you're gonna need some help with that, Steve. Your injury could be worth millions. You should consider calling Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm.
With more than 1,000 lawyers and 4,000 case staff ready to fight for you if you become their client.
But Steve's worried. He doesn't have the cash to pay for expensive legal fees.
Worry no more. Morgan & Morgan will fight for every penny you deserve. And guess what? The fee is absolutely free. Unless you win. But Steve doesn't want to sue his boss, even though he hasn't gotten his surgery bills covered in the last 6 months. Steve, when you sue for an injury, you're not suing your boss. You're suing the insurance company.
So if you've been a victim in a workplace injury or any other personal injury, you can hit the link in the description to get Morgan & Morgan to fight for you.
Steve did, and now he's back in the game.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. But what of the man? I know his name was Guy Fawkes, and I know in 1605 he attempted to blow up the Houses of Parliament. But who was he really? We're told to remember the idea, not the man. I've witnessed firsthand the power of ideas. Ideas do not bleed. They do not feel pain.
Jeez.
They do not laugh. A man that made me remember the 5th of November. A man that I will never forget.
Oh, going hard on that.
I read that the former United States is so desperate for medical supplies that they have allegedly sent several containers filled with wheat and tobacco. A gesture, they said, of goodwill. I think it's high time we let the colonies know what we really think of them.
The colonies.
Who's with me? Who's bloody with me? He was a country that had everything, absolutely everything. And now, 20 years later, is what? It wasn't the war they started, it was judgment. No one escapes judgment.
Oh, it's a lot of blades.
A yellow-coded curfew is now in effect. Any unauthorized personnel will be subject to arrest.
I was just...
It's past curfew, you know.
My uncle, he's very sick.
Oh, sick uncle, is it? Yeah, well, maybe you could look after us before getting back to your uncle. We exercise our own judicial discretion. By sunup, if you're not the sorriest piece of arse in all of London, then you'll certainly be the sorest.
The multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him.
Oh, Jesus.
Bloody execution. We're fingermen, pal.
Yeah. Oh. Take the son of a bitch out.
Oh.
With devotion's visage and pious action, we do sugar o'er the devil himself. Spare the rod.
Good, he take him out? Or just knock him out.
I just knocked him out.
Voila! In view, a humble vaudevillian veteran. Valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified, vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition.
Say that 5 times.
Yeah, no shit.
He loves the letter V.
So let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.
I'm Evey.
Evey? Of course you are. It means that I, like God, do not believe in coincidence. Do you enjoy music, Evey?
I suppose.
I'm a musician of sorts, and on my way to give a very special performance, and would be most honored if you could join me. I promise you it'll be like nothing you've ever seen.
All right.
Do you guys know who it is?
I'm not even going to guess.
Well, that's my guess for Quinn to look at.
Nope.
It is to Madame Justice that I dedicate this concerto in honor of the holiday she seems to have taken from these parts. Tell me, do you know what day it is, Evey?
November the 4th.
Not anymore.
I love the dialogue in this movie. Damn, it's so good.
These lines, dude, talking about crushing it.
Remember, the 5th of November. First, the overture. Yes, the strings. Now the brass.
I can hear it.
Oh boy, what does he have planned here?
Here comes the crescendo.
Oh shit! The whole building.
Oh, beautiful.
V laughing. Subtitle.
Gentlemen, you have had 4 hours. You had better have results. Mr. Creedy.
All significant witnesses have been detained.
DCD was Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture.
Add it to the blacklist. I never want to hear that music again.
We have spin coverage on the network and throughout the interlink.
Christoph Waltz.
The interlink.
We also managed to get a picture of the girl.
Who is she, Mr. Finch?
Not sure yet, sir, but we're working on several leads.
This is a test. Moments such as these are matters of faith. Doubt will plunge this country back into chaos, and I will not let that happen. England prevails.
Have you guys seen 1984 at all? 1984? No, it's the irony of that character in that role is interesting.
Do you believe that load of bollocks? I mean, there was no bloody demolition. Did you see it? Yeah, that's right. You went to see Daddy Dietrich, didn't you?
Daddy Dietrich.
Why does he wear a Guy Fawkes mask and then blow up the Bailey? Didn't Fawkes try to blow up Parliament?
He's still got another 16 hours.
Okay, lead on the girl.
Look, don't get me wrong. I love it. A cow getting crucified. It's hysterical. I don't recall ever getting stood up by a more attractive woman.
Mr. Dietrich, I was on my way last night, but there were fingermen and...
Well, sadly, after last night, I think our curfew would only get worse.
You broke
that, John?
That's all that was going through my head during this scene.
Gotcha.
Hi, Fred.
All that been x-rayed?
Nope.
Wait till commercials to set them off, okay?
What's all that?
Not sure they just arrived.
Must be frothering. What the hell is this?
Oh boy.
Just put them over there until I can figure out what they're for.
Her parents were political activists. They were detained when she was 12. Juvenile Reclamation Project. For 5 years. Shit. We're gonna need backup. I just want a chance to talk to her before she disappears into one of Creevy's black bags.
Does she even realize what, like, kind of danger she's truly in? Clearly not, but...
Not at this point.
You show me ID or I'll get Storm Saxon on your ass.
Storm Saxon.
Storm Saxon. Oh, Jesus.
You two, cover these elevators. The rest of you follow me. Attention.
Some good timing.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
It's jammed.
Break it down.
Oh, she does understand. All right.
Well, she just knows police are on their way.
Yeah, I'm sure she hasn't forgotten what they did to her parents.
And what they put her through for 5 years. GameCube game.
Allow me first to apologize.
That's the emergency channel.
I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of everyday routine. I thought we could mark this November the 5th, a day that's sadly no longer remembered, by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat. There is something terribly wrong with this country. Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression. If you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror.
Oh, shit.
I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? And in your panic, you turned to the now High Chancellor Adam Sutler. I destroyed the Old Bailey to remind this country of what it has forgotten. More than 400 years ago, a great citizen wished to embed the 5th of November forever in our memory. If you feel as I feel, then I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from tonight, outside the gates of Parliament. We shall give them a 5th of November that shall never, ever be forgotten.
There you go.
Oh, 1 year from now.
1 year.
Yep.
Don't shoot! Under fire! Oh.
Wrong guy.
You put masks on all of us. Oh, my leg. Wearing a mask, get down on your knees, now!
No way is he still in there.
There's a bomb wired to the timer in the control booth.
Oh, no.
That's
Wow.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's
There's a lot of firecrackers up.
Have you any idea how long it would take to rebuild this facility? Do you have any idea what you're doing?
Oh, here we go. Oh, he's doing work now. A little bit different strategy than with the guys in the alley.
Oh.
Here we go.
Holy shit.
Red wire, green wire. Red wire, green wire.
It's always red.
Get your hands on your head. Do it now or I'll shoot.
Oh, shit.
A psychotic terrorist, identified only as the letter V, attacked the control booth with high-powered explosives in order to broadcast a message of hate. We've just received this footage.
The old folks are looking around like, I don't know about that.
Stay where you are!
But at this time, it's believed that during this heroic raid, the terrorist was shot and killed. Bollocks. Again, from what we've been told by authorities...
Nobody believes the news.
No.
What's he thinking? Is he considering leaving her? For better or worse, she's stuck with him.
He looked great for just taking Mason knocked out. He looked great. And her on the other hand.
Yeah. He took a butt of a pistol to the temple. That's dangerous.
Well, that's not the temple, really. That's more the floor.
Wow.
That's where the cut is.
Yeah, you're a good couple centimeters off there, Mason Quinn.
Wow.
For someone that's seen this movie so many times.
Wow. Yeah. I'll get into that in my review.
Something new every time you watch it?
No,
You'll get to it.
I like his collection of books.
That was a lot of books.
Can't change books.
How about his collection? Just period. Forget collection of books. Look at all this stuff.
This is like in a museum.
An old Wurlitzer? My stepdad, we used to have one just like that, almost exactly like that in our basement.
Those butterflies?
Yeah.
Oh, you just wear the mask all the time, huh?
What is this place?
It's my home. I call it the Shadow Gallery.
Where'd you get all this stuff?
Here and there, much of it from the vaults of the Ministry of Objectionable Materials.
You stole them?
Oh, you can't steal from the censor. I merely reclaimed them. You did what you thought was right.
Oh no, it must have been out of my mind.
Is that what you really think, or is that what they'd want you to think?
Ooh, nice little twist.
I picked you up and carried you to the only place I knew you'd be safe.
I won't tell anyone, I swear.
I'm sorry, but I can't take that risk.
I have to stay here.
Only until I'm done. After the 5th, I no longer think it'll matter.
You should have left me alone. Why did you just leave me alone?
Well, that wouldn't have been good.
Anything else on the parents?
1 year.
Yeah, it ain't good. He died during the hunger strike, and he copped it when the military retook the shed. Her brother was at St. Mary's.
Christ.
Pretty rough shape.
You don't like the egg toasty, Dave, or was that just?
Answer was looking at his hands.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just wanted to apologize for my reaction last night. Your hands.
There was a fire a long time ago.
It was delicious.
Good.
Now I'm gonna want one of those when I get home.
I haven't had real butter since I was a little girl.
Real butter.
I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares more is none.
Macbeth, my mum, she used to read all his plays to me, and ever since I've always wanted to act.
Where's your mother now?
She's dead. You really think the blowing up Parliament's going to make this country a better place?
There's no certainty, only opportunity.
I gotta use that line.
The building is a symbol, as is the act of destroying it. Alone, a symbol is meaningless, but with enough people, blowing up a building can change the world.
I wish I believed that was possible. Every time I've seen this world change, it's always been for the worse.
There's that too.
What is it?
Oh,
a man does not wear a mask.
Pharmacy.
What is it, man?
There will be no negotiation, Roger. When I arrive in the morning, the paddy will be gone.
I wish I'd had the chance for a face-to-face. Just one chance, that's all I need. This so-called V and his accomplice,
What a
Evey,
setup.
haven't
I need to watch myself while I take a shower.
Oh my God.
But he's cheering himself on.
England for brothers.
Nice. What a shot.
Good evening, Commander Prothero. What was your title, remember? When we first met, you wore a uniform in those days.
Oh.
You.
Oh.
It is you, the ghost of Christmas past.
Fire explain his hands or what?
Yeah, for sure did.
Chancellor Sutler agreed, for obvious reasons, we have to keep this discreet.
Perhaps a stroke. No. Dignified death in his sleep.
We got any eyes or ears on this one?
Did you see all that?
Yeah.
See?
My fat metal friend.
That's the inspiration, huh?
My favorite film, The Count of Monte Cristo.
Haven't seen it.
Have not either.
Louis Prothero was one of the richest men in the country before he became the voice of London. Major stockholder in Viadoxic Pharmaceutical.
Viadoxic.
When you're at this as long as I've been, you stop believing in coincidence.
May we come up? You
Find your own tree.
It's like us watching Tommy Boy or Dumb and Dumber.
Did you like it?
Yeah, but it made me feel sorry for Mercedes. Because he cared more about revenge than he did about her.
Oh, that's something to remember a bit.
The entire nation as the voice of London passed away late last night from apparent heart failure.
She's lying.
He dedicated his life to his country.
How do you know?
She blinks a lot when she does a story she knows is false.
Lewis, you will be sorely missed.
She
was lying
quite a bit there.
Will he though?
You'll be
sorely
missed.
Did you have anything to do with that?
Yes, I killed him.
Just direct. Love it.
There's no court in this country for men like Prothero.
And are you going to kill more people?
Yes.
Yes.
Take a look at this. Prothero's military record.
Love how just direct he was with the answers. No beating around the bush. Just answered everything within less than a second.
They put him in charge of a detention facility at Lark Hill.
I cannot recall that particular facility, Inspector, but you're welcome to review our records.
This is a matter of some urgency, Major. We need to know if there was anything different about this facility. Your records are either deleted, omitted, or missing.
There you go.
Well, there you have it.
Right now, we don't have the problems we had back then. We all did what we had to do.
Real
yeah.
sensitive about what used to happen.
There's something I want to ask you, but I don't think you understand why unless you know a few things about me. My father was a writer. He used to say that artists use lies to tell the truth while politicians use them to cover the truth up.
A man after my own heart.
Until my brother died. That was when everything changed. My brother was one of the students at St. Mary's. My parents became political. I remember them arguing at night. Mum wanted to leave the country.
Evey, quick, hide!
Oh.
Right in front of her.
Yep.
Shit.
I never saw them again. I wish I wasn't afraid all the time, but I know this world is screwed up. Believe me, I know it better than most, which is why I wanted to ask if there's anything I can do to help make it right. Please let me know.
If you wish.
Did you guys figure out who he is yet?
I told you I wasn't going to guess.
Oh, okay.
Just not at all.
Nope.
It's driving
Not this
nuts.
It appears that the original electronic records have all been lost, probably during the Reformation. But I found this hard copy. Everything we've got on Larkhill is in there.
Unforeseen circumstances have accelerated my original plan. I'm in need of someone with some theatrical skill.
I'll do my best.
I believe you will.
You have to accelerate.
Yep.
The highest paid person at the camp was a priest, Father Lilliman. Paid almost 200 grand a month.
Holy shit.
Looks like he was promoted. He's a bishop now.
Has everything been arranged?
Yes, I've just received your interlink itinerary, and you should arrive in Perth in time for Mass.
My last little joy.
She has arrived, but there was some confusion at the agency, and they've sent a new girl who I'm afraid is a little older than usual.
Oh, come on.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus.
To think that I doubted your loveliness for an instant. Mea culpa.
All right, this is going to be satisfying.
Very.
Someone's coming and I think he means to kill you. I've been the prisoner of the terrorist named V for the past several weeks.
It's a game I've never played.
This guy.
Delightful mind you have. She wasn't lying. It is you.
I'm sorry.
Please, have mercy.
No.
Oh, not tonight.
Oh, not tonight.
This is Surveillance 109. We have an emergency.
Surveillance is everywhere.
Bye.
Bye. Piece of trash.
This guy, you can tell by that coat and that scarf, he's a dirtbag.
The Chancellor demanded my immediate involvement. The Chancellor suspects there might be an informer.
I've been a party member for 27 years.
If I were you, Chief Inspector, I'd find the terrorist.
I still can't believe she did. I mean, I understand why she did it, but still can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's tricky road.
I'm sorry. I didn't know where else to go.
Yes, well, you better come inside before someone sees you.
Oh,
man.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's what I want. It's a secret room.
Not for anything sketchy, though.
No.
Oh, of course not. I mean, we saw your reaction with bathwater.
God save the Queen. My parents took me to when they hung it at Gallery 12. I thought Sutler had it destroyed.
He believes he did. It's a copy of the Quran, 14th century.
I mean, if they found that here.
I told you, you'd be the least of my worries.
Can't have a copy of the Quran?
I was on my way here and...
You're wondering why you were invited here to supper in the first place. Unfortunately, a man in my position is expected to entertain young and attractive ladies like yourself. In this world, if I were to invite who I desired, I would undoubtedly find myself without a home, let alone a television show.
I'm sorry.
Not as sorry as I am. You wear a mask for so long, you forget who you were beneath it.
A lot of Equilibrium vibes.
Yeah.
Any leads on finding this guy? It's a Scarlet Carson. They're believed to be extinct.
He leaves them at the crime scenes. I'd appreciate it if you could have a look at it.
Of course.
My God, he's killed them all.
But one.
Who is she?
Not sure. She disappeared. 2 years. After that, all record of her seems to stop.
She changed her name.
Well, that's what I'm guessing.
I was going to say, she seemed awfully like...
Everybody's got their secrets in this world.
Dr. Diana Stanton changed her name Adelia Surridge.
Coroner?
Yep.
I just saw her.
You wonder why I...
Oh, she's done.
Because they can't change DVDs once you have them.
It's you, isn't it?
That's why.
Yep.
Come to kill me.
In this movie.
Okay.
What an answer. She really wanted out.
What they did was only possible because of you.
Oppenheimer was able to change more than a course of a war.
I've not come for what you hoped to do. I've come for what you did.
Oh.
These lines.
I was given one of your roses today.
I have another rose.
And this one is for you.
Oh, no.
Very cordial before he does his business here.
Yep.
You're going to kill me now.
I killed you 10 minutes ago while you slept.
Is it meaningless to apologize?
Never.
I'm so sorry.
Late again, coppers.
These guys are great at their jobs.
Yeah.
The terrorist officer
Oh, he didn't
wanted
even
us to have it.
He didn't take the job.
He wanted us to
Thought he
know the
would.
story.
Yep, wanted him to know.
Oh.
The contents of this document are a matter of national security. Any discussion of this document or its contents will be regarded at the very least as an act of sedition, if not a willful act of treason. You would do well, Inspector, to put it out of your mind.
Nah.
I can't do that, sir.
It's interesting how dilated his pupils were on the screen.
This could be the dawn of a new age. May 27th. Commander Prothero toured the lab with a priest, Father Lilliman. Made me nervous, but afterwards the commander assured me there wouldn't be a problem. They're so weak and pathetic. I find myself hating them.
Jeez.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, what the
No controllable pattern has yet emerged.
There's things on the face, same as her brother.
There is one case that continues to give me hope. I've discovered several cellular anomalies in his blood that I've been unable to categorize. The subject said he could no longer remember who he was or where he was from. He is now the key to our dream.
There it is.
November the 5th. All my work gone. He looked at me, not with eyes.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
That's what I just
What have I done?
He's a super soldier.
The only one that made it.
The first morning I was with him, he made me eggs just like this.
I am V. At last you know the truth. You're stunned, I know. It's hard to believe, isn't it, that beneath this wrinkled, well-fed exterior there lies...
I've seen people go to jail for less than that.
Of course, he was right, wasn't he?
$80,000.
Don't look so good, sir.
Need to make sure that 80,000 debt is really big.
Yep.
And what did he just turn on there?
I need to know that this question will not leave this office.
What is it, Chief? What's going on?
What if the most horrifying biological attack in this country's history was not the work of religious extremists? Would you really want to know who it was?
Sure.
Even if it was someone working for this government? Would you really want to know?
Dude.
Cruising around listening to
Just
people.
listening to... Jeez.
We've got an extraordinary show for you tonight. Give a very warm welcome to our own Adam Sutler! We threw out the censor-approved script and shot a new one that I wrote this morning.
Oh, fudge. Yeah!
Holy shit! What the f?
My plan left
You
freedom
better
ring.
clap.
The terrorist was never a serious concern.
Oh, really?
Terrorist has been neutralized.
The terrorist!
The
Oh.
He's in hot water over that one.
Oh.
What if they come after you?
I'm going to have to make some kind of apology, do some boring fundraiser, and in the meantime, our ratings will go through the roof. It'll be fine.
Oh, God, the Benny Hill music.
Right, is she safe staying at his house, though? There.
Oh, here we go.
Could he be hide?
Oh, just like his mom or her mom.
Yep, under the bed again.
He's so done, isn't he?
Oh.
Holy shit.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, she landed on her toes. That's a good way to absorb.
Jeez.
Well, that's It's great absorption, so you don't.
No.
Oh shit!
Shit.
You've been formally charged with 3 counts of murder, the bombing of government property, the penalty for which is death by firing squad. If your information leads to his capture, you will be released from this facility.
Buy that for a second. Oh.
What?
Yeah, I vaguely remember her during this time having a buzz cut, and I didn't know what it was for.
Now you know.
Oh no. It's the same, almost the same thing as before. Hey, V was right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she found something.
Okay.
I know there's no way I can convince you this is not one of their tricks. My name is Valerie. I don't think I'll live much longer, and I wanted to tell someone about my life. I was born in Nottingham in 1985. My grandmother owned a farm in Tottlebrook, and she used to tell me that God was in the rain. It was at school that I met my first girlfriend. Her name was Sarah. I remember our teacher telling us that it was an adolescent phase that people outgrew. Sarah did. In 2002, I fell in love with a girl named Christina. My father wouldn't look at me. He told me to go and never come back. Our integrity sells for so little, but it is all we really have. It is the very last inch of us.
Oh, a baby photo? Jeez.
Unreal.
Just tell us where he is.
I don't know.
Jeez. Gosh, at this point, she's just fighting to read fighting to read this stuff.
And in 2015, I starred in my first film, The Salt Flats. That was how I met Ruth. We moved to a small flat in London together. She grew scarlet carsons for me in our window box.
Scarlet Castles.
Those were the best years of my life. But America's war grew worse and worse, and eventually came to London.
You won't last much longer. You're gonna die here.
Gosh, how long has she officially been in here?
Yeah, it's so hard to get a time frame.
I remember how different became dangerous. They took Ruth while she was out buying food.
Oh.
For your protection, it says on the vans.
Yep.
It wasn't long till they came for me. It seems strange that my life should end in such a terrible place.
She was.
She was one of the subjects.
Every inch of me shall perish, but one. An inch. And it is the only thing in the world worth having. Even though I do not know you, I love you. With all my heart.
That was some deep shit.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man.
Unless you are ready to offer your cooperation, you are to be executed. Are you ready to cooperate?
No.
Very well. Arrange a detail of 6 men and take her out behind the chemical shed and shoot her.
I guess we can kind of get a timeline now on her hair growing back.
All they want is one little piece of information. Just give them something, anything.
I'd rather die behind the chemical sheds.
Then you have no fear anymore. You're completely free.
Free as in, like, you can walk out this door now?
Yeah, it didn't sound like he closed the door
Free
behind
of
him.
fear.
Well, where's the other 5 people
Well,
that are
remember,
supposed to escort her?
Well, remember, she had all this fear. That's what even her with V were talking about earlier in the movie.
Oh, jeez, look at that.
Did he kidnap her to see if she would break?
Yes, he did.
Holy shit.
Sure did. Look at this.
He was wearing gloves each time, too.
Hello, Evey.
It was you.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Dietrich's dead. When they found a Quran in his house, they had him executed.
You tortured me.
You said you wanted to live without fear. Every day I wanted to end it, but each time you refused to give in.
You're evil!
You could have ended it, Evey. It happened to me, just as it happened to you. Don't run from it, Evey. You've been running all your life.
They are crushing this scene.
This may be the most important moment of your life. Commit to it. Not so, you found something that mattered more than you. You told him you'd rather die. You faced your death, Evey. How do you feel now, what you felt then?
I understand the prep talk, but like,
yeah,
you just put her through that. Like, give her a moment to like let it out a little bit.
It was a lot.
Holy,
it was a lot.
Now she's free of everything.
Symbolisms here with the rain washing away the old self.
Yep. God is in the rain.
And he sees himself in her now. Woo! What a reveal that was.
Oh, guess need a breather.
872 songs in the air. I've listened to them all, but I've never danced to any of them.
I thought about keeping these, but didn't seem right knowing you wrote it.
I didn't. May I show you something before you go?
Oh, shit. That is...
She was real. Did you know her?
No.
And it really happened, didn't it?
Yes.
You were in the cell next to her.
Oh.
You're getting back at them for what they did to her.
What was done to me created me. Every action will create an equal and opposing reaction. What was done to me was monstrous.
And they created a monster.
Yes. Yes. Sure did.
Do you know where you'll go?
No, that would have scared me before, but I suppose I should thank you.
We'll say she did kind of give like a light, high level of what they did to him.
Yeah.
All those other people.
Thank you. Goodbye.
If I had one wish, I would wish to see you again, if only once, before the 5th.
All right.
Thank you.
Are we getting a reveal?
Whoa.
Nearly. Little flash of it there.
Some emotion out of him.
If we're to be prepared for any eventuality, then it can't be ignored any longer. It concludes that the most logical delivery system for the terrorists to use would be an airborne attack. A separate report has been filed suggesting a train.
Who filed that report?
God, this setting is wild.
Do you have any evidence to support this conclusion, Mr. Finch?
Just a feeling.
If I am sure of anything, Inspector Finch, it is that this government will not survive if it is to be subject to your feelings. What we need right now is a clear message to the people of this country. I want everyone to remember why they need us.
Did that not come off like Oz from Wizard of Oz there a little bit?
Very.
Outside the quarantine zone, a new airborne pathogen has killed 27 people.
Covered new evidence linking the terrorist organization called V to the St. Mary's viral attack on London 14 years ago.
Anything they can pin on them.
Well, dude, you see she wasn't blinking on that one.
Good. I know that name.
He must have had a hidden trip and has fired at the finger. But I didn't know it was you.
Oh, it's
Oh, look at how
creepy.
happy they are.
Yeah, and all the names.
That's close enough, Inspector.
You've information for us.
No, you already have the information. All the names and dates are inside your head. What you really need is a story.
A story can be true or false.
I leave such judgments to you, Inspector.
Genius, he made himself
Story
blind.
begins, as these stories often do, with a young, up-and-coming politician. He's completely single-minded and has no regard for the political process. His party launches a special project in the name of national security. The true goal of this project is power.
That's
complete
unreal.
and total hegemonic domination. The project, however, ends violently. He is a man seemingly without a conscience, for whom the ends always justify the means, and it is he who suggests that their target should not be an enemy of the country, but rather the country itself. Fear and panic spread quickly, fracturing and dividing the country. No one would have predicted the results of the election that year, no one.
That's wild how they filmed that.
The end result, the true genius of the plan, was the fear. The rest, as they say, is history.
Can you prove any of this?
Why do you think I'm still alive? If you want that recording, you'll do what I tell you to do. Put Creedy onto 24-hour surveillance. When I feel safe that he can't pick his nose without you knowing, I'll contact you again.
What were you waiting for?
Well, for you, Inspector.
And there it is.
Usually we get the villain like saying what every single step of their plan is.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You're done.
What's he doing in the dark then? Creepy Creedy.
Sutler can no longer trust you, can he, Mr. Creedy? After I destroy Parliament, his only chance will be to offer him someone else. And who will that be? You, Mr. Creedy. It's the reason why you're being watched right now, why there are eyes and ears in every...
What do you want?
Sutler.
What do I get out of this deal?
Me.
Yeah, right.
If you accept, put an X on your front door.
I'm watching her.
Yep.
Watching that film again, eh?
You got a creepy pin like a butterfly for weeks. Still no word. What's he waiting for?
Weeks. Okay, so we got a timeline there.
Yep.
I'll do. William Rookwood is dead.
I'd say so. 20 years ago.
There it is.
Yep.
Just punts it.
Oh, her.
Yep.
The V.
It's gotta be.
Oh, starting to. It was getting there.
Every day, General.
I'm getting
I can't wait for this guy to get it.
sick of seeing this guy on my screen.
So close.
Well, I like how they're doing that because then that makes you want them to just.
Eric Finch?
Yeah.
Who's asking? Oh, yeah.
Whole city's gone mad.
This is exactly what he wants.
Could have killed somebody upstairs.
All right, so 1 year has passed now.
The problem is
Sweet.
that he knows us.
I put the X on the front of the door.
That's why I went to Lark Hill last night. There wasn't much left. I suddenly had this feeling that everything was connected. One long chain of events that stretched all the way back before Lark Hill. And everything that was going to happen. Someone will do something stupid.
No!
No! Oh, no.
Things will turn nasty.
Holy shit.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Rioters were arrested in Brixton.
And then Sutler will be forced to do the only thing he knows how to do.
I love how they're doing this.
This is wild.
All V needs to do is keep his word.
Holy shit, look at this.
Well, you can take symbolisms out of this one, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's one domino standing.
Yep.
You ready for it?
Here's the day.
Are we ready for it?
Oh, the music in here.
She's back.
He said he wanted to see her one last time.
You look well.
Thank you.
May I inquire as to how you've avoided detection?
A fake ID works better than a Guy Fawkes mask.
I must confess, every time I heard a siren, I worried about you.
I worried about myself for a while. But then one day I was at a market, and a friend, someone I'd worked with at the BTN, got in line behind me. She looked at me right in the eyes, didn't recognize me. I guess whatever you did to me worked better than I'd imagined.
That's wild.
There's that.
Yeah.
Would you dance with me?
On the eve of your revolution.
Revolution without dancing is a revolution not worth having.
There you go.
Should the terrorists succeed?
He won't.
If he does,
If he does, tomorrow morning, instead of a newspaper, I will be reading Mr. Creedy's resignation.
Classic, like.
You've been busy.
Uh,
They're very scared.
I'm not going to talk semantics, because this will happen.
You can be one of the most important things that has ever happened to me, and yet I know almost nothing about you. I don't even know what you really look like.
Nope. Keep that on.
There isn't much time. I have something I must give you.
The underground.
It took nearly 10 years to clear the tracks, lay a bit of my own.
10-year job.
A bit of my own. Holy shit.
Oh. Yep, there's the British fertilizer he saw in his vision.
Yep.
What?
These tracks lead to Parliament.
They sure do.
And it's really going to happen, isn't it?
It will if you want it to.
Oh, no.
If you.
Everything that I have, I'm leaving to you to do with what you will. And the truth is, you made me understand that I was wrong. The choice to pull this lever is not mine to make. Because this world will end tonight. And tomorrow a different world will begin that different people will shape. And this choice belongs to them. The time has come for me to meet my maker.
You could let it go. We could leave here together.
All I deserve is at the end of that tunnel.
That's not true.
Interesting. I wasn't sure if I was thinking she'd had that kind of feeling yet, but makes sense.
I can't.
My fellow Englishmen.
God.
I know they keep hitting him with these guys.
Our enemy is an insidious
This is
one,
gonna be some ass
seeking
kicking
to
here.
divide us.
I've kept my side of the bargain, but have you kept yours?
Tonight we must remain steadfast.
Oh, all the homes are empty.
Evacuated.
The bar is empty everywhere. Whoa.
No way.
What?
I have something for you, Chancellor.
Ah.
Goodbye, Chancellor.
Disgusting.
Oh. Wow. Oh. They showed it.
They did show it.
It's time to have a look at your face.
No.
Or that.
Oh.
The only thing that you and I have in common, Mr. Creedy, is we're both about to die.
How do you imagine that's going to happen?
With my hands around your neck. The hope that when your guns are empty, I'm no longer standing, because if I am, you'll all be dead before you've reloaded.
Kill him.
Oh. Something tells me he can definitely take all of that. Yep. It's also a test by him, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's like, shit, I can take all this.
My turn.
Oh,
look at that. Oh.
Nice.
Oh. Sorry. The, oh.
Did you see how he landed too? Like
full on scorpion.
Hold it up. It's a bloodbath.
Oh,
look at that.
Whoa.
Die! Die!
Oh, that was a shot.
Yeah.
Beneath this mask, there is more than flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea, Mr. Creedy. Ideas are bulletproof.
Whoa.
Like he
Here we
said.
go.
My hands around your neck.
Oh, that didn't take long.
Well, look at that.
A couple look like they went through though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's.
Oh, look at that.
Made a V.
Made a V.
V!
I'm finished. I'm glad of it.
Don't say that.
I told you only truth. 20 years, I sought only this day. Nothing else existed until I saw you. I fell in love with you.
Oh boy.
Like I no longer believed I could. It's the most beautiful thing you could have ever given me.
Holy shit. I really was not expecting
him to go.
I mean, I know he took a lot of hits, but
a lot. Yeah. They made it pretty clear that some of them went through, so.
Perimeter 1, we have enemy contact.
Well, with the way he was made.
Holy shit.
You know? Wow. In the train?
What? He's in the train? Last
It's
time.
the one.
Hold it, stop right there. And it's over.
Almost.
Get your hand off that lever.
She's not afraid.
There's no response from command.
Yeah.
Or from party leader Creedy.
Yeah, but Creedy's gone. So is that Chancellor.
He was right, that this country needs more than a building right now. Needs hope.
Holy shit.
Bloody hell, stand down! Stand down!
Okay, so they're being peaceful with the soldiers.
Holy shit. Sometimes they need to be reminded who's in charge.
Whoa. No reveal.
Oh, wow.
Really? No reveal?
No reveal.
Do you like music, Mr. Finch?
Come along, sir.
His music.
Holy shit.
Oh. There it goes.
Oh, what?
Look, kids. Big Ben. Parliament.
Oh, what an iconic shot.
Yeah.
And there's the
fireworks.
Yep.
Who was he?
He was Edmund Dantes. And he was my father.
Whoa.
And my mother. My brother.
Okay, never mind.
I was gonna say that.
Everything.
That'd been a hell of a reveal.
Everything that she
It was
needed.
all of us.
He was all of us.
Oh, I love that.
Hey, was that the detective in one of those shots? Yeah, look.
Okay, good. Nothing happened to the.
Yeah. Wait.
No one will ever forget that night.
Is that supposed to be symbolic or?
I think it's supposed to be symbolic.
But I will never forget the man, what he meant to me.
There's the V.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
James,
Like,
way
I'm
to
surprised
go.
they didn't do like a quick like,
Kowalski brothers? Wow.
follow up for like, all right, here's the fallout from this.
Yeah.
Interesting to not do that, at least in my eyes.
Wow.
Very,
Okay.
very thought-provoking
as-
in 2024.
As I've seen this movie before,
2025. I don't even know what fucking
Yeah.
year we're in.
I've seen this movie before a number of times. Like I said, it's weird. This is a movie I put on when I'm sitting at home, and there's nothing else that I want to watch. I'm like, I'll watch V for Vendetta again, and I realize it's really weird because it's not the type of movie you'd think of that way. But for whatever reason, I just really like it and like the way it's done. Obviously, a ton of themes about the power of the individual. That's what I really liked about it, and people that can make a difference when they choose to. But all that being said, because I'd seen it before, I want these guys who are first time watch to give their piece on it. But I love this movie.
Yeah, I knew that there was some sort of revolution or some as far as what I've heard about the movies beforehand. My good friend Greg, he loves this movie too. He'd always talk about it, but we'd never watch it because I don't know. I thought it'd be like, no, let's watch something funny and stupid while we're hanging out. But to be honest, though, there was a good amount of levity in this movie dealing with the subject matter. We saw, the goofy Benny Hill with Dietrich, which, as we saw, then ended up getting him into severe trouble with Creedy. But they had good moments of levity to help you navigate through this ultimate, horrifying situation that they found themselves in. Did they ever say what year they're in? Because I know they said like 2005, then 2015 was when the one Scarlet got separated.
Yeah, I think they might have said in the beginning, but honestly, I've didn't catch it. And as you've talked about, Oak, this was as much as I've seen it, probably 3-4 times in the last couple of years or whatever, it was a different experience for me watching it this way. Again, we always talk about no distractions, no nothing, very zoomed in, very focused on it. So it was a different experience for me that way.
But because they had, it seemed like it was more set in the future, whereas, just wanting to take control of everyone and not everyone being able to live their own lives, and they wanted to control everything. We saw the guys driving around, like listening into conversations. So I thought that was really interesting with Sutler, where he has basically the 5 heads around him, the like FBI chief, the like police
Invasion
chief,
of privacy, just
the invasion of privacy guy, the
Yep.
TV guy that's going to feed everything to you. So I thought, and I can't remember what the 5th guy really did, but
Control, I guess you could say what that is.
But
you could look at it like Control with that truck with with the microphone since you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Just a different way of some kind of form of control. I'm listening.
And that was how they got their percentages about how popular V was, by how much they were talking about. It's almost like with Twitter, with like the hashtags or whatever, you know, or what are people talking about on social media. Yeah.
But so this was a movie about, you're trying to give the power back to the people, so to speak, because it seemed like they had it none. So I thought the way they did it was amazing. Hugo, I didn't know it was him all the way through until we saw the end credits, but he absolutely crushed it. At first, when he came in and laid all the dialogue down with all the V words, I was like, is this how he's going to talk the whole movie? Because I was like, I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, well, the stack dialogue with everybody.
Yes.
We really had to work to get our reactions in there in between.
Well,
dialogue.
and then him and Natalie Portman just crushed it in their scenes together. Actually, everyone in this movie crushed it. I don't know if it'll make the cut or not, but John Hurt is the one that played Sutler, and he did a great job of making me not really liking the guy. I mean, obviously he's evil. He's trying to control everyone, but everyone in this film just crushed it. I can't say enough good things about it because it was very visually pleasing. The action was amazing. They had the comedy in there when you didn't think there would be any. Like, I honestly did not think there was any, but obviously the way that Natalie and Hugo played off each other also helped in that aspect. So yeah, I really enjoy this movie.
Well, it is kind of interesting too with V and Evey or Evey, how similar their paths were almost in a sense. They were both seeking revenge. It took her a little bit longer to do it, whereas him, he whatever happened to him, as soon as he got out, it was boom, full bore for his revenge tour, so to speak. But then at the end, we finally got to see her capitalize on her revenge for her mom, dad, brother. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I love that line, like who was V?
He represents us.
And she said her dad, her mom, her brother, herself.
That got me right away, because as soon as she said her dad, I'm like, oh shit, it's her dad. And then she's like, and my mom. And then they went through, and the images they started showing, it even took a second. We're like, wait, that was going to work. It's just, it was representative of the people who had passed, which I thought was really brilliant. Look, this movie was phenomenal, and it becomes very, very evident as to why it's as highly revered as it is. Look, not going to dive too much into it, but we're in very politically charged times, I guess you could say. But we're always in politically charged times, right? And the thing that I think the movie did a phenomenal job with is it maintained a level of ambiguity that made it relatable for everybody. They didn't have, they didn't name the parties, they didn't show sides or anything like that.
Regardless of your country.
And the interesting thing, they didn't have the people arguing with each other, right? It was this sense of unity, and I think that was really powerful. And I think it spoke to the power of collective action when people aren't divided, right? Like, if instead of having this side versus this side and we're all fighting while the people in charge are doing whatever, when you have collective action among large groups of people, that's when things can happen, and that's when you have revolutions like we saw here. I made a handful of notes here. Personal integrity. I mean, there's a lot of people who had, some decisions to make. And look, even at the very end there, we had our officer who, he let the train go.
Yeah, he could have stopped it.
He let the train go. And just because he was in a position where it was his, work duty to be apprehending these people, he maintained his personal integrity. Jesus, slipping my mind, but the TV talk show host, our guy who, Dietrich.
Yeah.
Maintained a level of personal integrity. He did what he wanted, knowing that it could be very dangerous for him, and he ended up paying with his life. So that was another theme that I thought was powerful here. Look, of course, the themes of freedom versus security and the back and forth, like, oh, we're here to protect you, we're here to provide you security, we're here to this. But there's a curfew that you can't be out past here, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. and they're driving by and listening to every single thing you're saying, which, fast forward to 2025, it's like, I mean, yeah, they're listening. So it was a movie that I think, even though it's 20 years old, it feels very, very relevant today. And I just think it was a really, really powerful film. Of course, brilliant performance by Hugo. At first, I don't know if it's going to make the cut, but it sounded just for a half second. To me, it sounded like Carrie Eloise trying to do like a little bit of an accent. And that's when it probably won't make the cut, but I whispered to Mason Quinn, a poor farm boy, of course, referencing The Princess Bride. But I got that wrong, but Hugo did a great job. Of course, Natalie Portman absolutely crushed it. And what had to be a pretty hard role for her. I mean, obviously, she's a wildly talented actress and has done a really broad scope of projects throughout her career, but this looked like physically and emotionally taxing role. So shout out to her. Of course, they had great source material to work off of. But look, I thought it was a really powerful movie. Again, it was done in such a fashion that, unlike so many other things, you're not having people arguing on sides. They're arguing about the principles of the film. We're discussing
that's the brilliance.
We're discussing absolutely. We're discussing the principle of it. A couple other notes that I made, just like the role of symbolism and like the power of ideas, right? Like that's what he represented. It was a power of idea, and the fact that they kept him masked the whole time almost took away from, this is one person being a hero. And the other thing that I thought was really brilliant is that he got the masks out for everybody. And it was really like, this is about the movement. This isn't about me. This isn't about me trying to stand out and be a hero. This is about me trying to start something.
Yeah.
And
he had his personal story that he kind of dealt with,
of course,
at the end. But to your point, it was everybody.
He wanted everybody in that. And that's not one person taking credit. This is saying, this is the power of symbolism and the power of ideas. And again, the power of when people come together for causes. So an absolutely brilliant film, written, directed. We had a pretty good handful of action, which I thought was really done really well. The fact that he used knives the whole time and wasn't really a firearms type person, I thought.
I love the fight he had with the knight.
Was pretty. It was pretty incredible. So this was one where, again, I got to be honest. I saw so much stuff about it in pop culture over the years, but I just never sat down to watch it. And again, as Mason Quinn said, when we watch it in this sort of capacity, as a reaction, as opposed to at your home where you're on your phone or the phone's ringing or whatever, you got to get up and go to the bathroom. You're able to really get locked in and really, I think, take a lot more out of the message. So this one was great for me.
Yeah, I thought Natalie Portman did fantastic in this. I didn't know what to expect coming in. I definitely wasn't going to try to guess who V was. That's why I was glad to see the end credit go. But I thought Natalie Portman did fantastic in here, especially for 2005. I don't know if this was like she already had a couple bangers under her belt already, or if this was like her ascension. Not saying this catapulted her, but if she was already ascending.
She was in a couple of sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
Prior to this, so
she was about to make the Black Swan.
She do okay for herself.
Stuff like that.
Black Swan is on the list, so that should be interesting. I think you guys kind of hit some of the themes on the head. I mean, the power of symbolisms they made very obvious in here with how he was talking. V was talking in here. The mask, I thought that was pretty interesting for him to use. And I was kind of hoping for a reveal in there selfishly. It works that we didn't get a reveal because I know they kind of
plays into what Oak was saying.
Yeah, I know they kind of played or gave us some hints here and there of what potentially V could look like, right? Because they're on that fire. They had it pulled back where you could kind of see couple things, but then they did come back to show up a little bit closer, but still had it dark. But gave you just enough to maybe form something in your own headcanon.
The costume of when he was being the blind guy was about as close as you'd get to Hugo. That's when I thought you guys were going to figure out who it was.
No, I was so focused.
No red nose, and then
I was so focused on the hair, the hat, everything I was focused on except for trying to figure out who it was.
And you would be because it's a first time watch. Me,
Yeah.
I'm going back and watching it, seeing, I would have caught that at that point after my fifth or sixth watch, whatever it is.
My only other guess, which I know is really really out there, is our guy that was in the Kingsman movies as like the assistant. Was that
Colin Firth? Oh no,
was it Tucci? Stanley Tucci?
Oh, Stanley?
Not Stanley Tucci.
No, I have no the guy who played the bald guy with the glasses, the assistant in the Kingsman.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah.
Oh, Mark Strong. Yeah,
Mark Strong. Yeah, Mark Strong was the other guy.
Mark, like I know him.
I'm bald guys. You know what I'm saying. You know what I mean.
Mark.
Not Stanley Tucci. Sorry, I'm just
You were close. You were close.
Yeah. Mark.
And this movie, I could see why some folks are still loving it today because you could probably, like you guys were saying, probably at any point after 2005 and beyond, it's very, very thought-provoking, and the political themes in here reign throughout, right? So as time goes on and you watch this a little bit more, depending on how young you are or how old you are, you could kind of almost pick like a time where you can maybe insert this film during that time and just kind of run with it, right? I
think you really hit the nail on the head, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think people watch it today might be like, wow, this feels a lot like what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you could say, okay, this might feel like what was going on in the 60s. This might feel what was going on,
90s.
all over. And it should be kind of noted because I know, we have a little bit of a global audience. Generally speaking, in America, we don't get a ton of really deep international politics unless you go out and search for it. We hear some of Canada's stuff, but like as far as like the ins and outs of what's going on politically over in the UK and a lot of other countries, we don't get a lot of that in our mainstream news.
Well, you probably should phrase it as like it depends on the story.
It depends on the story, but just kind of like the daily ins and outs.
Daily, no, but it does depend on the story.
So we don't. So it's interesting seeing it, somewhere else because sometimes, and it might be ethnocentric, but sometimes you think like, man, it's other countries really have it together, and we're the only ones with these problems. So when you see it set in another country, it really kind of opens your eyes and. Like, oh wow, like there's these political themes as far as, again, going back to oppression and corruption and stuff like that. That's global. Yeah. So I think this hits a pretty broad audience.
Yeah, well, and to that point,
and time frame, like you said, pick a controversial time in the world history and throw this in there.
Yep.
And they started it off, interestingly enough, in 1605.
Yep.
So. People are like, oh, wow, this fits so much for today. Well, the guy started it in 1605. So this isn't anything anything new.
People have been trying to control people for a long time.
Well, on that point too, right? I have on here the media control, right? Evey in here said, "Oh, yep, I know when she's lying, when she's blinking too much." It's like, oh, that's like you said. There's a tell right there. So again, now you could take that and throw it into whatever time frame. Probably, it's definitely fair to say in the last couple years for sure.
Of course, yeah.
That's fair to say probably for some. But again, you could throw it all over. Pick the era like you were saying. So I thought the use of the media control in here, because to me that was kind of like one of the first things. I'm like, oh man, this is one could probably say about today about that. So that kind of stuck out to me too. The fear versus hope thing. That was interesting too because the guy that we hated so much kept flipping back to him because he was yelling at us.
Yeah.
He was the fear.
Yep. And Andy was the hope. That's how he presented himself.
That's how he presented,
like with the pharmaceuticals. He was
trying to present. Well, another form of control.
Yeah.
At least that's kind of how I took it.
We've got what you need. We have your best interest in mind.
Best interest. And then she at the end was saying, we need the people, or we need hope, or however I'm paraphrasing, of course, but she reminded us, the viewers, again, hope, and then sent the train. So, again, that was interesting there too. And the one thing with V, it's pretty interesting here. The psychological torture he did to her.
That was aggressive. It was a little aggressive.
I don't know how to take that yet. I'm still processing.
It was very physical torture as well.
Very physical.
Incredibly physical.
Very physical. So I'm not saying that was a good thing to do, but I'm leaning way more towards that was a very terrible thing to do.
Yeah.
But now playing in this world, I'm taking reality out of this when I talk about this here, but in that world that we just watched, she came out stronger.
Yep, the old Evey never would have pulled that lever and never would have been there.
It was testing her resolve. You know, I mean,
making her not
testing a lot
fear anymore because she told him how scared she was of everything before that, and this was her chance now, or this was his way of getting her to not have that problem with fear anymore. Even though then she came back and said that person didn't recognize her that she worked with, fear ran through her body and she dropped her money.
Yeah, again, now coming back in reality, it's like, man, can we just like have a conversation about, it did, like that was some, again, my head is still wrapping around that scene of like, in real world, was that really necessary for that to happen? Couldn't they go a different route in the real world? Obviously in here, it worked for the most part, which, what was the other line in here? The line that, no certainty, only opportunity.
Yeah.
I feel like that line kind of fell into that when she got the reveal that he caught her in time before really bad shit happened.
That was powerful.
So
there's no coincidences.
At least not in this one.
Nope.
And for V, kind of like you guys, I don't know, would you label, I guess it depends on how you look at the film, could be the anti-hero. And again, depending on how you look at it. So again, overall, I mean, this film makes you think.
Yep.
I've never seen this. I never even heard how anything about this. When I saw it, and then I did our Patreon trailer, I only picked like 3 things out of the trailer.
Yeah.
And it was just pure action. I'm like, oh, we're getting action. Okay.
Action. Yeah.
But now seeing this, it's like, holy shit, it makes you definitely stop and think about
it's
a lot of stuff.
It's got that vibe of like a political mystery or political thriller type thing to it, more so than the action. And I guess just a couple, if you were done, Dave, a couple of things I was going to touch on.
I'm good. I'm good because again, I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff that I kind of thought about after watching it a second time, it's not like the main parts that these guys did a really good job of kind of flushing out as first time watchers. A lot of the things that I kind of caught were. And just, I'm going to bounce around a little bit just as I was kind of thinking about them. First off, big shout out to the Wachowskis. I think you could tell this had their kind of fingerprints on it in certain shots. Like the one that really stood out to me was the knives, almost the shadow trails of the knives when he was using them.
That was really
And
cool.
then for whatever reason, the shot when they were zoomed in on the alarm clock and he was in the chair, and he was on the phone for some reason. That when they had that shot, we was zoomed in tight on the alarm clock. That reminded me very much of The Matrix. So I think some of the film work had that kind of vibe to it that I think the Wachowskis are known for.
Well, and real quick on the knives scene there towards the end, I thought that was pretty great for them to slow it way down to show how fast V really is.
Yeah. Well, he said they wouldn't have a chance to reload.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad they did that, because they followed up saying, all right, especially when he's like, my turn.
Yeah, but so I thought that was great. The other thing that I kind of want to touch on is everybody had a mask on in the end, but they were already wearing masks, as Dietrich said earlier on. Look, they were already self-censoring themselves. They were hiding things that they knew they shouldn't have. I told Diamond Dave I kind of got some Equilibrium vibes, because that was kind of a thing in there with Christian Bale.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, where they had to kind of hide things that were important. The idea
here for that one.
Yeah, the idea that V had a bunch of books that he had, and I always give these guys a hard time sometimes in jest, but it's like, hey, if you get a book or a DVD or something like that, and you own the physical copy, that can't be changed, that can't be altered. And V had the real history of things that actually happened. So I liked that. I liked that they showed the shot of the old folks' home, where the older people were watching the TV, and they all just had a look like, this is bullshit. We've seen this all before. I'm in my 70s. I've seen everything. And I really liked how they did that. They showed the folks in the bar who didn't believe it. They showed the families. So they had a real nice kind of cross-section of all these different people, and they all kind of self-censored and wore a mask when they were out in public. So I liked that. I liked the casting of Natalie Portman, not only being an incredibly talented actor, but because she makes this journey in the movie where she starts out, kind of scared. I mean, her physical stature, she's a very small individual. So that helps to kind of play into that as her being kind of weak, kind of shy, afraid. And then by the end of the movie, she's like the strongest character in the whole movie, regardless of her physical stature. So I really liked how she had that kind of character arc, and it's brilliant casting because of just her as a. I don't know if it was individual.
Like full out weak or scared, right? The only time she was really scared was the douchebags that were about to perform SA on her.
Well, she was saying that she was, scared for a lot of the time.
Every day.
She lived in fear because of what she went through with
but
her
now,
parents.
She didn't have to go after that inspector either. So to me, she kind of wrote a line of where her fear was at. So that's why, at least for me, I wouldn't say she was in complete fear, because when that inspector had V in that hallway there, she went right up, sprayed the mace, and took the hit. So
but that's what's that's what I like.
Different.
Well, that's what I like about the casting is that, like, look, if you cast, I don't know who's like a big a big female action star, like a Mila Jovovich from Resident Evil, somebody we're used to seeing kick ass. It's
like Jennifer Lawrence
or like
something.
Jennifer Lawrence. You're used to seeing that out of them, or any of the, I guess I could say any of the Marvel
Florence,
superheroes.
Scarlet, yeah.
So I'm used to that. You're not really used to seeing it with Natalie. And it makes for a very interesting watch, and I really liked that. The marketing for this was absolutely terrible. They didn't know how to market it. I remember the trailers when it came out, and they were riding so high off the success of The Matrix that they're like, hey, from the folks that brought you The Matrix, we're giving you this. And the marketing was all wrong. I don't even recall them, making it very political at all. So that was a miss on their part. But again, the power of change, of people kind of wearing masks and self-censorship, what the individual is capable of and what the collective is capable of, I really liked. So yeah, for me, this is one of my favorites, and I loved it.
If I may inject just a slight bit of levity, there's 100% chance I'm making some toast in a frying pan with an egg in the middle tomorrow. Yes, Mace, I don't know if it's going to make the cut. You just take a glass the same size as about a normal glass. You put it down in the bread, give it a turn, and
I don't have those little glasses. I've only like the big pint glasses and then coffee cups. That really wouldn't work with my bread.
Take a pint glass and just do the
that'd
same.
be way too big on a piece of white bread.
No, that's
how big is your white
Quinn? You got me intrigued here on the bad marketing. Again, I don't remember anything about this being. I just don't remember anything.
Yeah, well, 06.
So 05.
Yeah.
According to Google here, I should probably go DuckDuckGo, but on Google here, it's saying fuck Google and fuck YouTube sometimes. Not the people on YouTube. Google/YouTube. I'll reserve.
That's really not
all creators know to say probably fuck off YouTube sometimes. They know.
They're our subtler.
We're kind of mirroring the film here a little.
That's a different day, different time to discuss all the bullshit there. But to what you were saying, 2005 here, adventure, and then comedy, then action, then drama. So I'm wondering, because our good friend Kirk Ward, showrunner, writer, director, actor, when we had discussions about Gladiator 2 with him, like, why, right? And formula. So I'm wondering if that was following a certain marketing formula, and if that had any influence at the time in 2005 because of the nature of what we just watched. I wonder if they're like, don't promote it like that. Get over here, since we have the banner of DC comic. Label it as this.
You got the Wachowskis attached to it. Look, the original Matrix changed filmmaking, I think you could safely say. Yeah. And I think they're like, hey, it's got the Matrix folks attached to it. You'll watch it, right? Yeah. And I thought that's all they had to rely on.
It's not a bad marketing angle.
We see that today with Russo brothers, or hey, we got
from the
Christopher Nolan on
from the
this.
producers of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
From Christopher Nolan comes.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like you just
Exactly.
put
So
Nolan's name in
you
front
get
of
that.
it. You know.
So we still get that today.
Yeah, but I just think if they would have marketed more like a political thriller, like some of those movies that are there, maybe it would have done better. But then again, maybe you would have been splitting hairs, and maybe you wouldn't have got some of the folks who liked The Matrix to go see this, and maybe you'd be slicing up that pie a little too much.
I think that's fair.
That's
That could be a fair
possibility.
assessment, but we saw also that that Batman Begins came out in 05 as well. So,
What a banger that was, right, folks?
so yeah, you had a little bit of that for. You know what?
So I've seen this before a bunch of times. That should tell you what I think. Easy. 5 out of 5 answers for me. I love this movie. I think it's great. And so much you can take from it. Hey, how much time do you got? We'll talk about it all day.
I'm right there with you. This was everything you wanted in a movie for action, suspense, political thriller. Even had some levity in there, and then the
Benny Hill.
I was just gonna say the icing on the cake was the Benny Hill skit. 5 out of 5.
Jesus, get it together.
I was laughing over the Benny Hill.
5 for me. Easy 5. Easy 5. Brilliant film. Brilliantly written, performed, story, everything.
Yeah. Stack of dialogue about this high.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck memorizing that.
Yeah.
I mean,
good job, guys.
for the most part, yeah, folks, I would say 4.5 for me. Again, there's some stuff I want to do a rewatch before.
Oh, this is worth a rewatch.
If I ever get the time to do a rewatch, I want to do a rewatch, and my score would probably change either up or lower, either way. Now knowing what I know, seeing if I can go back and see what other little things were happening that I just wasn't focusing on compared to the big picture. So 4.5 for me. This was I will say too, for the most part, there might have been only 1 or 2 slow moments, and that's kind of, I don't even know if I should say that, but either way, it was pretty much the pacing was like go 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 go.
Yeah, I mean, that's
except for when they were in his lair.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fair because how many fight scenes were there really? 2, 3? I mean, 2, 3 big ones, maybe.
2, 3 big ones, but
yeah, you had the one at the end, and then you had the one in the alley.
I didn't rely on it.
Yeah,
you know?
and oh god, I can't believe I forgot to say this. Sorry, folks. Hope you made it this far. I did love the scene where they called them the finger, like the detectives or the cops.
Yes.
Where they took out the kid, and then they showed the people rising up, almost symbolic with like not pitchforks and torches, but they had shovels and stuff like that, and
Enough
the
is
people took back the power, and that badge didn't mean shit when he held it out in front of him. Like, I've got this badge. Do what I say, and it
Didn't mean
didn't
shit.
anything.
And he had what was coming to him.
Something.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like again, for the Patreon YouTube members getting the trailer out, I was expecting a lot of action. Surprisingly, there was action, but not as much as I thought coming in. So that was pretty unique too.
Yeah.
Very ambitious.
Are you Answer's going to start looking for words?
That was a great
Just
version
make
of
'em
film.
up. Just make 'em
That
up.
was great. No, I absolutely loved it. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we did. So for Appleton Oak, Diamond Dave, that's Mason Quinn. I'm of course the answer. Good night, pals.